Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Updates from Turkey on Jadon Sancho, that second bid for Brian MBEUMO, and a price set for Alejandro Garnacho. As usual, please get involved in the comments section and don't forget to leave a like on today's video, as you know it's much appreciated. Let's start with something positive. Mind you, I think all three may be positive, but let's start with Brian MBEUMO.
Yeah, well, we all knew the second bid was going to be in there, over £60 million. Reasons for the delay, me and Kieran was talking about it. We believe it's something to do with the accounts at United going into July. I think that's when it'll be triggered next week. So news there, second bid, negotiations going on. I'm over the moon. I have never doubted this deal going through. And Bumo wants United. Spurs looks as though they were going to come in for it, but that looks as though that's been just blasted out of the water now. And the second bid's in. A little bit of talking to be done. The new manager's in place for Brentford, and I think the deal will go through next week. But to me, I think it's all to do with the delay, with the counts, the way United do it, FFP and all that. So I think United will get on with it next week, not just with Mbeumo, Kieran. I think with a lot of players bringing in and going out, and we know that we've got to sell before we bring in more players.
Yeah, I do think with Brentford, I think it's more down to them actually wanting the actual price that they want, and that's close or even more than what we actually paid for Kuna. And it's also a matter of how that's actually going to be paid. I mean, United are going to give a large part of that up front with the rest of it in installments. Let's wait and see. But I think a lot of us are still positive that this deal will get done in the coming days. Fingers crossed, because it's a player who brings goals, brings assists, and brings the energy that's much needed into this Manchester United team. So let's keep a watch out for it. If there's any news or updates on that second bid being accepted, we'll be straight here. So make sure you get that notification. On Jadon Sancho, reports coming out from Turkey that he's actually agreed terms with Fenerbach. Still waiting for Manchester United and Fenerbach to agree a transfer fee, but let us know what your thoughts on that actual report is.
Well, I'm over the moon with the report, and I expect many of you out there are exactly the same. Listen, Jadon Sancho, a Fenerbahce, I never thought any contact over there, but Mourinho's the manager. You just don't know what's going to happen. United are supposed to be in talks with Fenerbahce, a deal. Will it be done? They're gonna haggle over it. They don't want to pay what United want at the moment. But the good thing about this report is Jadon Sancho has agreed terms, and that for me is a positive going forward. Will it get done? Well, we've got a week or two negotiations to go through, but for Jadon Sancho, the most important thing is United are back in training, and United fans out there are over the moon that he's going. Now, let me tell you something. They don't want him back at Carrington. And when it opens on the 7th of July, we've got about 2 weeks to go, and let's get him out of here. These negotiations have to work. And I think Jose Mourinho, he's identified him. He wants him. The conversations have gone on. Let's hope they continue and get the deal done. That's what we want to see. Players out of this club. And Jadon Sancho, he's number one.
A lot of links around Sancho, teams from Italy like Napoli, Juventus. Hopefully this report coming out of Turkey is actually true. Terms have been agreed on wages, and it's just left to the two clubs now to agree a fee. And let's hope the sooner that gets done, the better all round. Going on to Alejandro Garnacho, we talked about him yesterday. I mean, I was talking about a ballpark figure of 30 to 40 million pound. You've seen him over the weekend wearing that Villa shirt with Rashford. There's much more that's gone on with Garnacho since Ruben Amorim's come into the door. And for me, it had only like put his price down to the lower ballpark of that 30, 40 million pound. But United are playing hardball. Maybe there's some games coming from United side and Garnacho's side. He's trying to drive it down. United are trying to drive it back up. But 70 million pound, I can't see United getting that, unfortunately.
Well, it's all about the art of the deal as far as I'm concerned. £70 million seems way too much as far as I'm concerned, and many of yous out there. But it's United setting a price, and then it's the negotiations. For me, he could end up anywhere, Garnacho, absolutely anywhere, except the Premier League top teams. For me, get him out of the club. Like I say, 7th of July, we don't want him back at Carrington because that will just set a bad precedent going forward for the rest of the summer. We need it clear. Amorim needs to be clear. He wants his players in. He still wants a striker.
Still wants a striker, as we know that is one of the targets with us going for Liam Delap, obviously choosing Chelsea. And let's just hope when MBEUMO does sign, we can go on to the next target, which hopefully is a striker. Gyökeres is still out there. A lot of news gone quiet over Gyökeres over the last 7 to 10 days. Ekitike as well. You know, Amorim wants an actual energetic, athletic forward. Does he fit the bill at €80 million? I'm not too sure about that, but...
Well, it's a lot of money, €80 million for Ekitike, but I have said previously he's a better option than Gyökeres. Gyökeres 27, high wage demands and all that. But I look at it this way. Ineos will look at Ekitike and say there's a price at the end of his contract if they want to move him on. So that's how I look at it. He's a goal scorer. But what you must say, Amorim has to be backed. He has to be backed. He wants a striker. You look at MBEUMO, he's out there on the right. He can be used as a centre forward. He scores goals, but he still wants a striker. So we have to go for it. There's been a lot of negotiations, a lot of talk for strikers, and it looks like this Ekitike is the one where they're hanging their hat. So for me, young lad, he's got a lot of potential, and that's what I like about him. You've got to look at the other news, what's out there. You know, United are not looking to sell Onana. Who's looking to buy him? That's the thing. I've not seen anyone out there who's looking to buy him. Martinez, Aston Villa, this talk about United, have been monitoring him. And I mean monitoring him since the turn of the new year. Well, he's got a contract. He signed it from 23 to 29. So that contract, you know, I say to myself, what's going on there with that? Who's playing games? Signs a contract, and now he's looking at Man United, and Man United are monitoring him. For me, it's all about, does Onana want to go? Well, Onana doesn't want to go, and I've said it for a long time now. He's staying here. United aren't looking to sell because they know what Onana is. Onana's their goalkeeper, and they're looking at him to keep him for another year. But the option is there because negotiations, well, monitoring with Martinez has been going on since the turn of the year. So you just never know. You know what the transfer's like. We're in the madness.
Yeah, I do believe Man United would actually sell Onana. I mean, his performances over the last 2 years haven't been to a standard that we expected at United, especially when you look at all the goalkeepers that we've had in the past. I think Martinez is probably a keeper United would look at to bring into the club, but I think the actual transfer fee of £40 million, I don't think they're going to be paying that for an actual number one goalkeeper, and the wages that might also come with that. I mean, if Onana does go, I think you will actually see some more rumours and speculation around other goalkeepers out there, not just in the UK, but around Europe as well.
Well, what we want to see, right, the 7th of July in Carrington, we want these players who were deadwood. That's the players. You've got Anthony, fair play to him. He wants to go. He wants to cut in wages. He's out the door. There's no problem. Then you've got Rashford, you've got Sancho, and then you've got Garnacho. So for me, by the 7th of July, they don't want to be back in training. Amorim needs a full pre-season. He doesn't need the distraction. So the men in suits, as far as I'm concerned, have got a fortnight. Get on with the work and get these players shifted.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Get your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Smash a like on today's video, and we'll be back tomorrow with another United News Roundup. Enjoy your day. Thank you.